Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I'm your host Doug here with your video blog for June 14th, 2013. Yet last night was Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat pulled off the win 109-93 behind a big performance from the Big Three, and especially Dwayne Wade, who had 32 points and 6 steals, the second player all-time to have those numbers in an NBA Finals game since Isaiah Thomas back in 1989. Let's get to the Spurs first. The first half was very similar. The Spurs got out to an early lead. They were up 15-5 at one point. The Heat rallied back, and the Spurs kind of hung around. They kept it tight, kept it close. Tony Parker had a big second quarter. He finished with 15 points total. He had all those in the first half. Maybe had a little bit of some of those hamstring issues late. But then in the second half, the Heat just started pulling away with their big three. Tim Duncan had a solid game, 20 points. Manu Ginobili non-existent really. In 27 minutes, he had just 5 points. They shot the three ball well again. Danny Green, Gary Neal shot the three ball very well, 8 of 16. But the real story was the turnovers. They had 18 turnovers in the game, and the Heat defense was just swarming them. The Heat defense racked up 13 steals and 7 block shots. The big three, as I said earlier, combined for 85 points. And another big really nobody else performed big for the Spurs except Ray Allen. Ray Allen was big time, 14 points. He had some nice cuts off down screens. He'd cut up and make a little shot in the lane. Wasn't all three-pointers. He had 2 of those. And really the Heat just pounded the ball. LeBron James found a shot. Chris Bosh was a lot more of just finding his own shot. Dwayne Wade looked strong. He was attacking the rim well, and I was a little worried coming out of halftime. He had his knee wrapped up with ice, but he came out in the second half, played solid, scored a lot of points. We've seen him struggle in the second half of games most of these playoffs, but he played well down the stretch. He had 32, 33 for James with 11 rebounds, and Chris Bosh had 20. So they combined for 85 of their 109. If you throw Ray Allen in there, Ray Allen combines for 99 right there with those 3. My prediction for Game 5 Sunday night, Spurs I think will be better. They're going to be solid. Everybody talks about how the Heat have not lost 2 straight games since January. Well, the Spurs haven't lost 2 straight games since December. So the Spurs have done much better, not losing 2 in a row. The Spurs are going to be solid. I think Parker plays better. My pick is Spurs 104, Heat 95. And this series will be 3-2 heading back to Miami. Major League Baseball has come down big on the Dodgers and Diamondbacks with their suspensions. The biggest player getting the biggest suspension was D-backs pitcher Ian Kennedy, who hit, I believe, 3 guys that night. He got a 10-game suspension. Eric Hinsky picked up a 5-game suspension. He had a lot. He was in there throwing some punches, throwing some dukes. I really liked what I saw from him. And Kirk Gibson, the manager, he'll get a 1-game suspension. J.P. Howell for the Dodgers, he got a 2-game. Skip Schumacher got a 2-game. He was fighting with Hinsky. Mark McGwire for grabbing hold of Matt Williams, the manager, he gets 2. Ronald Belisario, another player, he gets a 1-game, and Don Mattingly gets a game. So I'm happy with the suspensions. A little surprised they went 10 games with Ian Kennedy. That basically means he'll miss 2 starts. Really no point to appeal because you're not going to get it down to 5 games anyways. Hinsky could appeal, get it down to 3. All those other suspensions will probably stick up pretty well. So big-time suspensions for a big-time brawl. All right, the U.S. Open is underway. I want to get a little bit of some U.S. Open in here today. Tiger Woods shot a plus, I think he's at +3 through his first 2 rounds, so he's not doing great. Phil Mickelson right now is the outright leader at -2, and really not a lot of big, I guess some big names at the top. Phil's at -2. Justin Rose -1, Jason Day's at even, Donald at even, Stricker and Fowler also at even. Woods, McIlroy and Woods are both at +3. Some other big names. Cut line right now is projected at +5, so some of the guys that will miss the cut include Webb Simpson, Keegan Bradley, a lot of other guys too. So that's just what we're seeing right there with all these U.S. Open players. Now let's do a little take your pick first. U.S. Open winner. I think my U.S. Open winner is sitting right now at even par. I think Jason Day He played well at the Masters. I think he's going to get it going. My pick is Jason Day to win the U.S. Open. NASCAR this weekend, going to Michigan. My winner at Michigan this weekend will be Dale Jr. He runs great at Michigan, breaking out a new paint scheme too, so he is my pick there. And my College World Series winner is LSU. LSU is the number 4 team in the land, 57-9. I think they got a pretty easy road going through some unranked opponents, and they're my pick to win right here. All right, so Monday I'll be back with Game 5 reaction. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the weekend. Follow me on Twitter, YankeeBaller415. Check me out on jbsmooth84.com. Got some stories, and also I'll be on the podcast there on Tuesday, so check me out there. I'll post up a link. Comment, questions, subscribe to this page. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers out there. Hope you have a special Sunday. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.